Hi guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my AFL Fantasy review of the Collingwood vs Port Adelaide game that happened on the Saturday early game. So before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe, as this channel's growing really well and hopefully I can get more videos that you guys want. So remember to comment your thoughts and opinions, give this video a like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can know when I upload videos. So now let's get into the video here, and as you can see up on screen, we have the game here, and Daicos was basically the star yet again. He had huge quarters each and every quarter. Seemed like he did a lot of his work late on in the quarter. A lot of his work came in time on, where he got 11, 17 points in that time on period, 8 points in that time on period, 16 in that, and 5, 8, 17 in that period as well. So he scored almost like 60 points in just time on period, and he ended up 117. I was hoping for him to just get 100 or so, go up by 20k, but 100 go up by like 15, 10k, but he'll go up by like 30k, making it a little bit harder to get him. But I'm certainly going to go get him because a tag doesn't worry me anymore, and it just looks like he's going to be scoring at least, well, honestly, 110 a week no matter what the tag is. Mitchell did really well this game. Where is it? Here we go. He did really well in the last quarter to save it. He only had 7 in the first. And then Josh Daicos had a really good start to the game, but then just didn't bother playing the fourth quarter. Darcy Cameron, I thought he was going to go huge after the 56 in the first quarter. And he also had a point where he was on 56 plus 53, plus he had a shot on goal here. And I think he sprayed it out wide. So I thought he was going to end up the quarter with like 60 odd, and that would have been huge. Then he started off the quarter really good, but yeah, he just didn't kick on, I guess. Josh Daicos, yeah, as we said, and then Adams was pretty good other than the third quarter. He looked, especially, he was one that I kept on noticing, but he obviously didn't rack up the pill like Daicos did. Sidebottom was really good in the first half, but fell away a little bit. Crisp had a really good last quarter to basically save it. He was on 43 at 3/4 time. Noble, I thought for a second he was going to be the type of guy that you could bring in as a Collingwood defence player, but it just doesn't look like he gets the ball enough. Pendlebury just decided to not play the second half, basically. He knew the job was done almost, and that's why he had 58 at half, and then just sort of rested his body, it looks like. And that's what it felt like in the game. And then Jordan De Goey did what I thought Jordan De Goey would do. He was on 46 at one point with... Where is it? No. He was on 46 with about 3 or 4 minutes to go in the second, and I thought, oh, he's going to break up into like 50 here and score another 100, but then he just didn't really kick on. He relied heavily on his tackles and marks. And if we look over to here and look over to Goey, you'll see here he had 9 in total of tackles and marks, and he just didn't get the disposals needed to get that huge score. So that's the one problem with De Goey. It doesn't seem like he can do both at the same time consistently. I think he's going to be one that, like I said in that previous video, I'll link it in the card, that I'll link a card up in the top right, that De Goey doesn't seem like he's able to be a good player of difference just because he's so volatile and inconsistent. Yes, he'll have, what did he score in the first game? 113, I believe. What did he score? Yeah, 113, but he followed it up by 67, so he's only averaging 90 now, which is... I don't even know if he hit his break even. Did he hit his... He barely hit his break even, so that was I guess a good choice not to bring him in, and I think it would just be so inconsistent. Darcy Moore looked really good as a captain and an intercept guy, like an actual player, but he was too inconsistent in that he didn't do anything in the first quarter, and he's just not in a fantasy friendly role. Myercheck, is he the one that did he get subbed out in the end? Yeah, he got subbed out, so could be an injury issue. I'm not 100% sure because this is filmed almost 24 hours later, and I don't remember him being a massive injury you could see straight away with the Parnell and stuff like that and Howe from last week. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'll check that whilst doing this. And then you have Mason Cox. Just did what Mason Cox does, and surprisingly didn't limit Cameron in this game, but I have a feeling in other games he'll limit Darcy Cameron down a little bit. It looks like he might have got concussion from what I can see here. Was that no, that's Jamie Elliott. Subbed out with injury. I'll just keep on going and then we'll see. So Jamie Elliott has a potential. He looked concussed, if I'm being honest, but he didn't come off in the end, so that's why he didn't get anything. Doesn't look like. He got a finger injury. That's what it was. So I don't know how long that will be, because a broken finger could be. He could strap it up and almost play the next week or whether or not. So I can't read too much into that. And then you have the likes of McStay. This is Bobby Hill. And all these guys didn't really do anything. So then we move on to Port, and Charlie Dixon scored the highest, which really shows that your team got smoked up if your key forward was the highest scoring player. And I think he kicked 3 in the end. Yeah, he kicked 3 goals in the end, which sort of is why he did it, because he had kicked 3 goals, had 5 marks and 14 touches. So that's why he scored it well in the end. Rosie had a concussion. That's why he didn't score much after 15 minutes in this game. In this quarter, I should say. And he really fought back well, and it doesn't really matter with him being 61% owned, I want to say. So there's that. Powell Pepper did what he would normally does. Farrell, Wines looked good early, but faded. Yeah, he faded in the second and then came back strong, but yeah. Dan Houston, I remember looking at a Twitter thing at, I think it was quarter time, I want to say, and someone had Dan Houston as a player of difference, and they were like, yeah, he needs to stand up. And it was -3 at the point, and it just didn't look good, but he came back pretty strong, but it's just not an option. I don't think he's going to crash in price, and you might be able to pick up Dan Houston around 600k, honestly, with the way he's playing at the moment. Will Drew had a really good first, but then fell away in the second and the fourth quite massively. And then it was weird with what Butters was doing, was he was trying to play what felt like a similar to Callum Mills type role. I swear he was lined up in the midfield. Let me just double check this. I swear he was on the team sheet, he was in the midfield, but he didn't look like he was actually in the midfield. He's named as... Where is he named? He's named on the half-forward flank, which makes it even more peculiar that a lot of his possessions that I saw were him behind the ball, getting a kick back and then trying to launch it forward down the wing. I swear I saw that 3 or 4 times at least. A lot of these kick marks here were him just launching the ball forward from behind the center square. So it seems like he might have got a role change in the middle of the game to more of a wing role, a defensive wingman. I don't know, because I don't think that's the way he plays best, and he sort of needs that midfield time to get those huge scores. Marshall had a good third quarter as they look to stem it, but a lot of these guys here, and then we go on to Lysette, who had a pretty good first and then just fell absolutely away once. Did he even get many disposals? He got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 disposals in the last 3 quarters, and no kicks in the last 3 quarters. He ended up only having two kicks for the whole game, it looks like. Let me just double check. Scott Lysette, 2 kicks, 8 handballs, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 19. So he's just not an option. And then, so he did really badly. Rioli, Fantasia. Then you come down to Horne-Francis, and Horne-Francis just didn't turn up. A 0 point last quarter, 8 in the second, 10 in the first. 24 point third quarter sort of saved this from being an absolute bottom out score of like 35-30, maybe even in the 20s. If he'd scored another 10 point quarter, he would have been at 28. That's how bad it was. And then you have Boak. Well, his price will crash, and he might actually be an option because he's going to lose probably 60k, 50k off that, so he's down into the 700s, and it's going to take him 3 games to pick that up, I think. Even because his break even next game is going to be like 140, 150, and that'll be huge, and he won't hit that, so he will drop another 50k. So he's probably going to bottom out at around 700k before he starts to pick it up, and it's just whether can he hit. I just don't think, maybe he will be a value for some people, but I don't think I'll pick him in the end. And then no one here did. And then you have, what is this? Is this the Lockie Jones tag? Let me just check. Is it Lockie? Yeah, Lockie Jones tag that literally lasted a quarter. He did nothing on Dacos, and he almost beat his break even. That's how much he scored in week 1, but that was just a terrible roll. Ken Hinkley cannot apply tags on players because, like, other teams have done it in the past. It just seems like he just wanted to. He didn't put a guy that could really tag on him, or at least just follow him. So he struggled. And so, yeah, that's my video for the Collingwood Port Adelaide game, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.